AFP Modernization News Roundup, January 27, 2022. Please like and share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Here is a roundup or summary of news related to the modernization of the armed forces of the Philippines in the last couple of days. First is that the Philippine Army announced recently that after the Philippine Marine Corps, they are also planning to acquire the PJ-10 BrahMos missile made by the joint Indian and Russian company BrahMos Aerospace Private Limited. But it won't be soon though, as the planned acquisition is set to be made during the third horizon of the modernization program of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, which is set to be from 2023 to 2027, and they plan to get only 2 batteries compared to the 3 batteries which the Marines got. Based on the acquisition of the Philippine Marines, which cost $124.9 million United States dollars per battery, or 6.4 billion pesos, assuming an exchange rate of 51 pesos to $1, then the Army's planned acquisition is likely to cost around $249.8 million, or 12.8 billion pesos for the 2 batteries. Next is that on a related note, the Indian press is now reporting that the contract for the Philippine Marine Corps' acquisition of the BrahMos missiles could be signed on January 28, 2022. The Indian press initially reported before that the contract was to be signed last week, but it didn't seem to have pushed through. This latest report about the contract signing is in line with the recent announcement of Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana that he was targeting to have the contract signed within this month of January 2022. Third is that Secretary Lorenzana announced recently that the Philippines is set to receive another Pohang-class Corvette that will be donated by South Korea within this year, 2022. He confirmed that the ship is a so-called freebie or part of an offset agreement with South Korea for the Philippine Navy's purchase of 2 brand new Corvettes from the South Korean company Hyundai Heavy Industries, whose contract was signed last year in December 2021. The ship will be the second Pohang-class Corvette for the Philippines. The first is what is now known as the BRP Conrado YAP or PS-39, which was delivered in 2019 after the Philippine Navy signed the contract for the Jose Rizal-class frigates in 2016. The incoming Pohang Corvette will likely be the former ROKS, Andong or PCC-771, which was decommissioned by the Republic of Korea Navy in December 2020, and which was inspected by the Philippine Navy in November 2021. Lorenzana said that he hopes the Pohang Corvette will be delivered before June 30th of this year 2022. And last but certainly not the least, China is donating equipment to the armed forces of the Philippines worth 130 million yuan or 1 billion pesos, assuming an exchange rate of 8 pesos for every yuan. The donation comes in 2 batches. The first batch was delivered last January 16, 2022, while the second batch will be delivered later. The donations includes rescue and relief equipment, drone systems, detectors, water purification vehicles, ambulances, fire trucks, X-ray machines, explosive ordnance robots, bomb disposal suits, transport vehicles, backhoes, dump trucks, forklifts, and earth movers. The donations are expected to be turned over to the Department of National Defense and Armed Forces of the Philippines next month, in February 2022. So in summary, the Philippine Army is also getting the BrahMos missiles in the next couple of years. The contract for the acquisition of the BrahMos by the Philippine Marines could be signed on January 28, 2022. A Pohang-class Corvette will be donated to the Philippine Navy this year, 2022, and China is donating 130 million yuan or 1 billion pesos worth of equipment to the Philippine military. Thank you for watching the video. I invite you again to like and share it, and subscribe to the channel.